Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beer Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not, and welcome to the big show. Normally, Monday is my favorite day of the week. Talk to the Beard is my favorite task that I get to do every week. Not even a task, really. It's part of the job, the part of the gig, I guess now. But this week, my guest was kind enough. We did a benefit gig. I run sound for a band, and the band does this benefit gig every year, and it's for the Ronald McDonald House. It's for a good cause and all that shit. But it's like at a fancy-ass country club kind of thing, and I don't really hang out at country clubs, so I always feel awkward. But we did it, and actually, it always goes really well. They always really appreciate the band and everything, but it's like smack dab in the middle of a Monday, and that's just the way it works. So my guest was kind enough. I didn't look that far ahead in my schedule, so it was like 7 days beforehand. I had Trace reach out to him and say, hey, do you mind moving? And he was kind enough to shift to this, which is awesome, especially considering our guest today, Dan Calley, is in England, so he's kind of a bit off on the time and off on a few other things as well. But it's a little bit later for him, so everybody be gentle today. Now, this week, it's business as normal, aside from our Monday thing. We're working on, right now, Command and Care Book 3 from Mortician Knight, his middle. That means there's middles. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning so much about middles. I never knew such a thing existed. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. Go Joe. After that, we're shifting over to another E.M. Lindsay book. We're kind of jumping in the middle of a series. We didn't start the series, but we're certainly going to finish it. Broken Chains 4, it's Wicked, I believe is the name of the book. We're going to be working on that on the latter half of the week. Then finally, everyone has been asking about this book, this series, this author. I did an interview with her last week, M.A. Grant. We did an interview over in the MM Fantasy Romance group, Paranormal group. It was awesome. But we're finally getting to the third installment, Initiate the Sun. It's a Whitethorn security series, book 3. That's going to wrap out that series for you, which is fantastic. We're going to be working on that starting this weekend, rolling into next week. Now, a couple other show notes here. One, our lovely Tracy Johns, our very own lovely TNA, is going on vacation coming up this Saturday. That means shit's not going to be normal. It's going to go awry. I know I'm going to miss stuff. I'm not in charge. Tracy is. Is it Imitate the Sun? Is that what it's called, Trace? She's changed titles on it 3 times on me. So you're probably right, not me. That being said, if anything is off, if we're missing something in the group, please just let me know. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sure Trace is going to be checking in occasionally, but really, she is the glue that keeps this peanut butter and jelly sandwich together because, as you know, in our modern day society and food system, there is, in fact, glue in your peanut butter and jelly. As we work on that over this coming weekend, we're going to be working in Discord, obviously, but please help keep tabs on us. If you don't hear from me in 3 days, please call the police. Somebody has killed me. That's the way that works. Also, talk to the Beards. I don't know that we have a guest coming up this next week. I'm not sure if Tracy booked one of those or not. I would have to check the show notes to make sure or not. I know that we have a couple weeks off, and I think that she's getting Nick J. Russo possibly to step into one of those dates. But it's going to be a weird couple weeks with Trace going on vacation. I was supposed to be on vacation as well, but it didn't happen because we had a little remodeling project, which we're going to talk about here shortly. It was a ton of fun, but we got it all done. So anyways, I think that's it. One final note. We do have one last video going on in the MM Paranormal Romance group coming up on this Thursday. This Thursday is going to be our other favorite Brit, Victoria Sue, and she has a bunch of books that are going on in there. So if anyone wants to hear me do a live reading of any one of those, let me know which one you'd like me to do a live reading of. I'll start the show with the live reading, then we'll do some Q&A. We're going to be popping up something in the Facebook group here today or tomorrow with any questions anyone wants to ask Victoria Sue. Perhaps some cooking advice. Anything like that would be greatly appreciated. So anyways, without any more from me, I give you this guy, it's been since July of 2020. I can't believe it's been 2 years since we had him on. Here we go. Mr. Dan Calley himself. How the fuck are you, Dan?
There he is. I'm good. I'm a hairy, sweaty man today. I hope you can't see how much I'm sweating.
I can actually see it there.
Can you see the glisten?
Well, I thought it was like, because obviously your hair is gray, not black, and I thought maybe you did like the Elvis hair dye thing, and then it kind of drained down onto your face.
Yeah, no, I wish. It's it's like 40 degrees, which is abnormal for over here. We're just like nobody can deal with it.
Well, and
So,
you all normally don't have air conditioning like in your houses, right?
well, we don't need it usually, but then the last 2 days, I mean, I don't know, why are we talking about the weather? It's just a
What?
hairy, sweaty man who
We
trying
can
to
see it.
justify it.
So you said you did a remodeling project too here. You got to tell me. You got your kitchen redone. You got to tell me this whole process because
Yeah,
I feel like I'm experienced now myself. You first. Tell me about your kitchen remodel and how it affected your life.
well, so I mean, it's been going on for 2 months. So we've just had the whole we've basically nicked a bit off the lounge and turned it into a utility room, and then we've got sort of the builders coming in at 8 o'clock every morning, just going, and then they start using their tools, and then start making more noise, and it's just like all day. So I can't record, obviously. So I've got to wait until they've gone at 4 o'clock, and then they just kind of leave loads of mess, and then my cat's just like wandering around going, the fuck is going on? This is awful. And it's just, but it's done now, and it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. But it's just the kitchen people, like, stuff was turning up broken, and then I'd have to phone them up, and then my girlfriend just banned me from ringing them because I was just like, every time something went wrong, I'd just be straight on the phone to them going, what the? Yeah, horribly stressful, but it is worth it once it's done. But yeah, it was horrific.
Yeah, once it's
Um,
done. It's,
yeah, and you can't work as well, which is the worst thing. It's like you have to work in the evening, and because yeah, you just can't do anything. It's horrific. But
dude, I
so what are you
tried.
having done?
Well, so we had a sun porch that's been falling down for several years. And it's like the entrance way into our house. We have a front door. No one ever uses that. We have the side door that comes through this old sun porch. Sun porch, the idea is there's a bunch of windows and it gets a lot of sun. Unfortunately, this is a really old house. So, well, for us, okay. Over in your neck of the woods, this is not a really old house. This one was built in 1906. Like in your neck of the woods, that's a new build.
Oh
But
yeah,
over
yeah.
here, it's old as shit. The people that owned it before, the guy bought it in the 80s. And when they bought it, it still didn't even have running water nor a toilet. It had an
Oh
outhouse.
shit. Yeah.
So they did all that and they installed all that. And the guy was a trim guy as a profession. He went around after somebody frames in a house, they drywall it or whatever they're going to fucking do. And he comes in and does the trim. And they remodeled our entire place. And dude, the trim is fucking gorgeous. I mean, it is tits. They like, instead of just nailing the trim together, he would like do little dowel rod attachments in between. And I mean, professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else sucked donkey dick. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Including this addition they made, this sunroom. So when we moved in, we got about 5 years life out of it. And then suddenly it started leaking. And then we started to notice that the windows were sagging. By the time we got it redone, the sags in the windows were like 2-3 inches. I mean, large gaps. Bats could fly through it. It was bad. So we had an opportunity. We weren't going to do it this year, but our contractor friends were out and they were installing a dog door for us. And they happened to mention, hey, you've been talking about the sun porch for several years. We have an opening. And I was like, fuck it, do it. Because I don't know if it's like this around you guys, but for us right now, if you want to schedule something like that out, get a room redone, schedule it a year out. That's about where you're at.
Yeah. That's what it. Well, yeah, it took us ages to get
Oh
something.
my God, yeah.
Yeah, it's mental.
So we jumped on it. We didn't even really truly have the money, but we jumped on it and we figured it out. So I have the booth in an outside building and I can work when they're working. I mean,
Oh, so you got an outhouse.
basically it used to be a one-car garage on the property and I converted it into my studio. I've got a control room above on the second floor and I've got my booth in the bottom floor and I've got some slop space outside here. So I could work, but man, there were always questions. Always questions. So our contractors were not nearly as diligent as yours. They did not show up at 8 a.m. They showed up about 11 a.m.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Then until about 5 or 6 in the evening, there was a constant. Trace can, like, every fucking hour there was something else. Like, I needed to go out. And they're good guys, but questions need to be answered. So we got it done. And it is fucking gorgeous. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's still shit, just like you said. So this morning, we have a dumpster sitting out there, and the dumpster is kind of overflowing. And the dumpster guy texted last night and said, hey, I'm going to come out and pick that up soon. And he's not going to pick up an overflowing dumpster. So this morning I
Yeah.
got my boots on and I'm climbing up on top of the dumpster and fucking stomping shit down and getting it, you know, all that still needs to be done. People are saying it's like Mordor over where you're living, and it's up to like 42 degrees in London. And yeah, it sounds like a hot, bloody mess.
This is what I mean. This is why I am, but it's buckets. And I've got like I'm considering buying one of those. Do you get Dyson fans over there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Are they any good?
Yeah.
They're like
those
400
fuckers are
quid.
powerful. Yeah, no, they're
And they don't make
powerful.
any noise.
Man.
They are, but because this thing that I've got is like, it was started off really well, and then suddenly it's just like, it's sort of like hot air coming out of it now. So it's not, I don't know. And then like if you put it on a certain setting, then you get cold air, and then, but yeah, so it's shit. So I'm tempted to spend 400 quid on a Dyson fan but I need to get verification that it's actually worth doing.
Well, the quiet part, that's the part that I don't think is actually true. I don't think you can get anything that moves air like that is now. So my solution is, I mean, I built the glory holes, and it's a fucking, yeah, exactly. Dude, this chick from Scotland that's been following me for years, Jax, she named them the glory holes because I got 2 PVC pipes coming in the back of my booth back here. But what I did was I bought a portable air conditioner. I put it outside the booth, and then I had 2 holes coming into the booth, the glory holes.
Yeah.
And I built a box and ran some venting in there, so it wasn't coming in a straight line. I put one on the outside, one on the inside, and then I went to a weed store, right, where you can fucking buy legal weed. I found it online, and they sold me these super powerful little fucking fans. So I installed them out there. It blows super powerful air in through the 2 boxes, so it doesn't go in a straight line. It blows in. Then I got another one that sucks the air out. That's what pretty extensive solution.
Yeah, that is grown up. That's big boy shit. That's like,
yeah. That was the hardest project that I built. I built the booth myself too, but that was the hardest project I've ever done. That was a bitch.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I just put a load of acoustic treatment up in my my girlfriend's son's ex-bedroom, and it's great.
I get it.
Yeah, it works.
At the end of the day, I think I have about $1,000 in that project, and for me now. Now, for us, hey Google, what is 40 Celsius in Fahrenheit?
It's about 100.
Celsius is equivalent to 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
That fucking sucks right there. Yeah. We average around, in the summertime, in between 85 and 95 degrees in the summertime.
Yeah.
And that's like for 3 months straight, sometimes 4 months, you get that shit.
The thing is, everyone's complaining about it. Everyone on Facebook's just like, oh, I can't. It's just, it's like, well, if you were in Spain, you'd be like, oh, this is so nice, isn't it? But it's not. And it's just started raining as well. And everyone's going, oh my God, it's raining now. It's like, well, you happy? No, you're not, are you? You're just not happy.
What happens with us, at least it happens for me, is when I get that hot, if it's 104 degrees in my booth when I'm recording, not only do I'm not able to get my proper breathing, but I start to lose focus real quick.
Yeah. Massively. Yeah. I could. Today is just a write-off. I mean, I'm doing this book it's a romance, but it's set in Northern Ireland. So all the characters are Northern Irish, and it's quite an aggressive accent. So I'm trying to sort of there's like a little sex scene, and it's just, bury your fingers in your pussy. It's just like, I gotta try and make this sexy somehow. And it's hard. I keep drifting in and out of this Northern Irish, and the only phrase that makes me get back on track is "got on the car now." I have to do that. And then I'm away. I can do it. But yeah, I have to. You gotta sort of soften it or something. I don't know. It's really hard.
I struggle with the Irish accent so hard. What I normally do is I normally put a little bit of musicality in it. That's all I can do because I can't actually do an Irish accent.
Well, the Dublin ones, it's a lot softer, and it's much better to do that. And it's nicer as well. But the Northern Ireland ones, it's a bit kind of harsh. It can be a bit aggressive.
I cannot, dude. Mine gets into fucking leprechaun territory when I try that shit. I can't do it. Gary Furlong, that's who we need to fucking talk to. Gary Furlong can nail that shit. That then I end up blending it into like this northern this Northern England thing where I round off my O's like that, and I end up blending it somewhere in there, and what I'm hoping is people realize, oh, well, he's supposed to be Irish. That's all I'm hoping for. That's all I get out of it.
I mean, it's we can't do everything, can we?
The making people sexy thing, man. What I've learned over the course of the last couple of years of working in Discord every day and having a lot of people watch me is a lot of the listeners really enjoy when we're emoting a bit, when we're putting a bit more of the now I'm not saying make an orgasm sound, but I guess I'm saying make an orgasm sound. They really enjoy that. They really enjoy the grunting. They really enjoy the bits in between.
Yeah.
I've
noticed there's a lot of grunts. Yeah. Well, I find a lot of the books as an author that I work with quite a lot actually at the moment, Charlie Novak, and she's just like a machine. She churns out so many books. So I don't know how she does it, and but yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of ums and and it's like written into the text, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's what you want. But yeah, that's.
They love
but yeah,
it.
those little ums and.
Yeah, and finding out. Well, you'd mentioned, and what turned me on to that was the trying to take a voice that is not sexy and turn it into sexy in some way, shape, or form.
The
task of my life is to make that happen.
Welsh is a hard one as well. Welsh is a kind of hard one to get sexy. I guess you have to sort of go. I don't know. You kind of. I just have to go deep with everything. I think that sort of sorts it out, doesn't it? If you just the deeper you go, oh, you're Welsh, like. But yeah, I don't know.
There's a chicken in the crowd that every time I do a deep growl, like I see this comment in Discord, ooh, deep voice, like fucking loves it. I agree with you though. The deep is the way to freaking go.
Yeah, it's a solution, isn't it? Yeah,
well, nothing like. You see, regular actors don't have to fucking deal with this, do they? Like the dude that played Obi-Wan didn't have to fucking figure out how to be sexy with it, I'm gonna do an Alec Guinness impersonation. You don't have to do a sex scene, you bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of it anyway?
I loved it.
First.
I thought it was great. I saw a lot of people complaining about it. I was like, it's terrific. You got like loads of Darth Vader, loads of him at his angriest. Nice little, like the bit where I can do spoilers. I guess.
Yeah, please. Spoilers ahead.
So like the big fight at the end when he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Anakin," and like it's all kind of like all that emotion comes out, and I just had. The window cleaner just turned up. I was watching it on my iMac, and the window cleaner just turned up at that point, and I was like, proper fuck. It got me, and I was like, oh god, what do you want? That's but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. It had loads of stuff I wanted to see. I thought little Leia was great. She was good. Nice to see a little Luke, even though you don't see much of him. And yeah, it's like had nice, just the right amount of little Easter eggy things, and see a little bit of Alderaan, you see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's great. Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. First two episodes especially just knocked my socks off. They were really well done, and I enjoyed it too. The more Star Wars, the better for me, and I can take it or leave it. It's my choice, but I'd rather see him putting out more content than not putting out content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Tatooine as well is one of my favorite places to kind of, because it's just so many interesting little creatures and stuff. But I thought it was terrific.
Well, and I like The Mandalorian as well. There some episodes I could leave, but I still got to watch them. Boba Fett. Boba Fett was almost crossing the line a couple times where I'm like, come on. Guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, I watched it all, but I was just like, he's just not Boba Fett.
Boba Fett's kind of a pussy, isn't he? I mean, that's where I was a couple times. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then they had like
Yeah.
the little, I don't know, the race car dudes, the Power Ranger looking guys.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah, no,
that was,
they were terrible. They're like East London like hipsters. They're terrible. Absolutely. What that's probably one of the worst ideas I think they've possibly
oh
ever
yeah,
come up with. It
yeah.
was it's going about like 20 miles an hour as well.
Well,
Oh,
all of that though
it's
is just
shocking.
like a wealth of storytelling. That and do you get into the cartoons at all? Like Bad Batch? Bad Batch was fantastic in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, yeah, I've heard. I need to get going. I'm sort of I've done 2 series of the Clone Wars. I really like it.
Hmm.
So I'm going to pursue it. But there's just so many of them. It's just where do you get the time, to do like there's
Yeah,
like
I
25 per series and there's like 8 series or something.
yeah, I
But
those
yeah.
are those like stream in the background in our house. So when I walk in on the
Mm,
rare occasion, because they don't let me out of this room very much, Dan. But
yeah,
when I
yeah,
get to walk through, I get to glance at that.
yeah.
Are you still making your Star Wars podcast? The
Yeah, well, we're just it's weirdly, I was out with this with the guy that I do it with, Patch, the other day, and we were talking about oh, I've got some massive news actually. I'm doing my first Dan Calley novel. Uh
dude,
yeah. Novel. So
congratulations, man! I've
I'm
heard
really
so many narrators
excited
talk about
about it.
doing this. You're doing it.
Yeah. Well, I've done like a couple of books in my other name. Yeah, a Dan Calley book is in production. It's called well, it's about, I'll tell you what it's about. So it's about two guys who are they live on this planet in like another galaxy, and just some horrific natural disaster. And just before one of them dies, he's like, "Oh, I need to tell you, that obviously, you and me, it would be great too." And then they die, and they go to where you go, like where when you die, and they're going to get reincarnated, but they can't go back to their original planet. And you've got two choices. You can go back with your past life memory with everything intact, so you can just learn more and just go, shit, I know all the secrets of the universe. Or you can go back like us and just get your memory wiped. So they both choose to go back with their past life memories, but they end up on the next human planet they can go to, which is our planet, which is fucked. And yeah, it's cool. And they basically he has to find this guy, his like best mate, who he's absolutely in love with. And yeah, it's just like all the kind of 1% have come back with their brains, with their past life memories, so
Mhm.
they know how to get rich, they know how to do this. So it's all these characters, and it's called Continue from Last Save Point.
That's
It's,
fantastic, dude.
yeah, I really like that. Just for the title, I was just like, I'll just do the title. I'd say,
The title's perfect. I've heard
yeah.
so many narrators tell me, guys that work for me, guys that I'm just buddies with, all of them, dude, I could write this. And I'm like,
Yeah,
show me the money. Come on, let's do it. Because
yeah.
I find
Well,
myself thinking it from time to time, but it's a hell of a lot of work. How did you
so
get into it?
well, I've written a couple of books before, and I kind of they did take quite a while because I was on and off. I'm so busy. I do narrating, I do voiceover, I do a bit of audio work. So it's getting the time to do it. So I've just come into the end of a massive, like this year's been just so busy that I can go right. Okay, I can do it now, and I've got I just bought a new M1 MacBook Pro, and I just go right. Just gonna sit there. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna plan it all out, and I've got a couple of do you know Jack L. Pike,
Hmm.
author?
Oh yeah.
Yes, she's going to help me, so I don't clumsily like do a scene which is just gonna fuck everything up. So yeah, it's just like having the authors that I work with that are going to help me kind of figure it out. All the bits that I'm not, because I'm heterosexual, so there's some things I can't understand or I can't write properly. Yeah, even though I read this stuff all the time.
Hmm.
Um, and then she's got reader friends who will read it and go, no, that sounds, you can't really say that. Kind of thing. But I mean, the reason I got the idea is because of one of my best mates who's he's just come out as trans. So he's kind of going through he's changing to a female at the moment. This is over the last sort of couple of years or so. And I just yeah, I sort of hang around with like this quite macho crowd, and they're kind of all into football. I'm not into football myself, but they're all kind of football and sports but everyone just was just like, well, yeah, of course he is. Of course he's like, we knew. Like, just why didn't you come out before and just like, we wouldn't. And everyone's just been really nice and supportive to him, and he's sort of like, he's quite not far down the line now, but he's kind of sort of he's progressing sort of more towards female like quite quickly now. So it's all kind of, and everyone's just like, yeah. But I just had a thought, he's going to be a character in my book, like, because I just thought, what if one of us just starts fancying her at some point? So I thought that'd be a good thing to have, like, it's things like that, in the book. So so yeah, that sort of gave me the idea of doing it. I was just like, just I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it under Dan Calley, and
it's such an interesting study in psychology here that we're going through, and I'm no psychologist. But you said two things that just intrigued me. First off, have you been this close to someone that's going through a transition before, or is this?
No, this is like a really good mate as well. And but he'd never had, like, he'd go out with and he fancies women. So I think he's seeing a woman at the moment. But he would always go out with like a woman, and he'd be like, oh, how'd it go? And he'd just be like, yeah, it's okay. Nothing more. Like, you don't get anything else. So we were just like, there's something, I don't know what it is. There's something, and like, he would dress up, like, he not with us, but like, he'd go to sort of trans clubs and things. So we knew that he was, he liked dressing up, but we didn't know that he was going to kind of, go the next step. But we knew we were like, well, is he gay? Is he like, he's obviously not happy, like, in himself, because otherwise, we get a lot more out of him. Like, if one of us was going out with someone, we'd be like, and even if it went badly, we'd be like, oh my God, yeah, it was just fucking awful, and just like pour out, for about 3 hours. And he just goes, yeah, it wasn't, it's like, so, but now he's like sort of come out with everything. It's a lot more chatty in that sort of respect, and kind of, he's just like, oh yeah, well, he's got some trans friends as well, who've gone sort of male to female. So he's got quite a few, because and it turns out he's got quite a lot of friends like who look like we didn't know, who we now know about, and we're like, yeah, so we don't, we're not going to like, no one's going to judge you. It's like, and he's like, yeah, because this trans friend of his came over from New York, and I think he sort of hinted that he was fooling around with her, and we're like, well, yeah, of course you are. Like, we know. It's like, but he doesn't have to be. He just feels a lot more relaxed now, and as I guess you would, obviously when you come out to.
It's been my observation. I grew up in a town where this was totally not accepted at all. We were talking before. I live in Ohio, and smack dab in Midwest America, and the town I grew up in, if somebody had said they were gay, they would have gotten a beat down. It was fucking horrible. I didn't know any different until I was ignorant, and until I got into my early 20s, even late teens, early 20s, somewhere in there, where I got a couple of people that I knew were gay as friends. They just happened to be doing the same things I was doing, and I got to start to ask questions. The same thing happened to me with somebody that had already transitioned. And then several times now with people that are transitioning, they've become incredibly close friends of mine. And also a nephew of mine now. Started out as a niece early on in life, and I actually changed Jennifer's diapers when she was a baby. She was 10 years younger than me. Jennifer transitioned into James. The opportunity that arose was I saw, oh my God, I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant. This person obviously feels like they are not them in their own skin. There's something deeper going
Yeah,
on than what I was told
yeah,
when I was a child, and I
yeah,
need to investigate. It gave me the
yeah,
opportunity, being close to these people, to be able to ask questions, just the most ridiculous fucking questions you would ever think of in your
yeah, yeah,
life. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
we all wonder the questions like, well, how, it's always about sex, right? It's always about, that's where our minds go. Well, it turns out, from my experience and the people I've talked to, and everybody's people are different, but people I've talked to, sex is oftentimes one of the last goddamn things on their mind. It's just
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was same with Bert. He's exactly the same. He's just like, I just haven't even got a sex drive at the moment because, um,
exactly.
I'm taking these things, and it's just like, but it doesn't bother him, But yeah,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's like you say, it is the last thing on, on his
yeah,
mind.
precisely. It's just about people trying to be people and being able to express themselves the way they want to express themselves. And
Yeah.
really, there's something, in my opinion, and the few experiences I've had, there's something medical going on there that we can't fucking see. There's something
Mm.
going on from a very early age with a few people that I've talked to.
Yeah.
And in my experience, like with James now, James, my nephew, is happy as shit.
Yeah.
He's very relaxed. He's more chatty, like you said, but more
Yeah.
so, he doesn't feel fake anymore to me. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
had that experience with your friend where they just kind of, it doesn't feel like they're being themselves. Now James feels
Yeah.
like he's himself, you know?
Yeah, yeah. There's something being held back, isn't there? And it's just like, and now it's kind of, yeah, just it's almost like he's kind of just gone, ah, yeah, there you go. This is
Hmm.
this is this is me.
So how did you
So
take
it's
that character study from your friend and use that as
well,
character fodder for your book?
yeah. I mean, it's just it's like the sort of thing you were saying. It's like they're just kind of getting into the mind of so the character's going to be like there's going to be all the main characters in the book are people who have come to they've started their lives with their past life memories, so they've already clued up with the kind of secrets of the universe, and they're kind of like they know how things work, they know how to, and there's going to be bad people who are going to manipulate people and use, you know, get them make themselves rich and just be horrible fucking 1% arseholes. And then there's going to be people who'll be like, do good things, and then the main character's gonna ultimately wants to find the guy that he's in love with and go back to his own planet. So he's gonna try and find a way to go. I know how to build a spaceship. I know how to do. It's gonna start off on Earth, but they will go to other places, and there'll be other characters, with stuff going on, and there might be someone that was born and has just fucked it up and just gone, oh fuck, I'm meant to be a woman, but I've got one of these things, and I didn't even have one of these when in my old life. Jesus, what have I done? So yeah, it's good. It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be loads of stuff going on, but I'm just sort of planning it all out and just kind of going, how much do I want to like drip feed? Do I want to drip feed the kind of bits so you kind of don't know what's going on, and then you kind of do know what's going on after a while? Because I was watching. Have you seen Severance?
No.
It's like just get Apple TV and watch Severance. It's like 8 episodes. I think it's 8 episodes. Show of the year. Like it's unbelievable. It's so good.
You're gonna have to paraphrase it for me because I can guarantee you
So
1,000% I'm not getting Apple TV. Fuck Apple.
yeah, no, yeah. No. I'm honestly, I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna get fucking Apple TV, and I got a free trial for like, and I banged it all within like a week. It's so good,
Nice.
and it's like the whole premise of it is just like it's basically you've had your brain sort of kind of severed in half, so you've got like your work brain, which knows nothing about your life outside work, and then your brain outside work, which knows nothing about like when you go into work, it gets kind of wiped, and it's just like every episode just drip feeds you enough information of what you don't know what is going on, and then you're just like oh, and then sort of every episode you just get enough little just little beans just sort of flicked your way, and you just
Hmm.
go, oh yeah, that is really good. And then by the end of it you're just like, that was fucking terrific. It's so good. It's
I
trust
love
me.
shows like that. They're not spoon feeding it to you. They're just
Yeah. Just
they're allowing the audience to be smart, to be intelligent. I
yeah.
love it.
It's like Better Call Saul, like things like do you watch the Breaking Bad prequel?
Yeah, well, not the prequel. I watched Breaking Bad, which was fantastic, except for like 3 or 4, it fiddled out a little bit, but then it kind of came back again at the end.
Yeah. Better
But
Call
incredibly
Saul
well.
is I would say maybe even better than Breaking Bad.
Really?
It's the storytelling is so patient, and just the way it just kind of like it just doesn't rush anything. It's so good. So yeah, that's what I want. I'm thinking about sort of how to pace things and
Well, so we've got a
because
few questions about this. First off, is it going to be a rom-com?
I sort of like I do like 'cause my background's from comedy, so I did stand up for years. So I do like writing comedy, but I sort of I do want it to be funny, but not like a comedy. So I think I'd like it to I'd like to really think about it and just kind of make it into a really good story and that has got the potential to be a series, and then just kind of roll with it. Just see what happens after one book. See if it sells anything for a start before I start thinking about it too much. But
see, Louisa said it's a great premise. Work brain and non-work brain. Sign me up. They're talking about the TV show, the strangest TV show ever.
Yeah, get on that.
Jack in there, which I have to clarify too. I've never actually met Jack Pike face to face. I know of Jack. And I've heard a lot of good things about Jack. Jack, you should come on the show at some point, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, get her on the show. She's great. She's I mean, she's the reason that I'm here today. she's the reason that she got me my first MM gig.
Well, not only from you, but from other people in the crowd too. I've heard a lot about Jack Pike. So please, by all means, please, Trace, get with Jack. Bring her on the show. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good.
See, we're thinking about doing something here a little bit. I've had authors and narrators on so far, and it's been fantastic. I think we've had one exception to that rule, maybe 2 over the years, but so far that's what I've been doing. What I want to do is start to bring on more industry professionals as well. So we'd bring on cover artists, editors, and potentially publishers too, to kind of bring them into the mix as well, where they could actually kind of spread out the game a little bit and see what else we can bring in, because it's a lot of the crowd that watches us are authors, which is fantastic. With that in mind, it's a good blend of authors and readers. I think everybody that comes here wants to learn about the industry, and I think it's a great place to do it. While we talk about dirty shit and say the word fuck a bunch. So that's pretty much the rule. You got to put up with that shit. So aside from writing, what else are you working on right now, dude?
What else am I working on? I've just finished. I'm finishing up that Northern Irish trilogy. Thank God. It's really hard going. It's taking me ages. Because you go through when you're just like editing, and you're like, oh God, I just didn't do that very well. So it's really hard to sustain that for a whole book when it's not your native accent. It's just like it is hard. But I'm doing Charlie Novak. I was saying, talking to you about as an author. I've worked with over the last couple of years. She's great. I've done loads of her books. I'm doing a new one, a new trilogy which is set in Yorkshire. So they're all kind of like northern accents, which is, I've got to do loads of different Yorkshire accents, which I like. They're my that's sort of my go-to accent. So I'm quite sort of happy about that. So I'm doing that at the moment. And I did what did I do the other day? I did do voiceover work as well, and my agent got me this bird's eye advert do you have bird's eye over there? It's like frozen food.
Oh,
so
okay.
I did this.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about now that you say that.
So it's like a vegan range that they're doing. So I did. I went into town for a couple of hours and just did these. It was literally just like bird's eye green cuisine, chicken nuggets, and like that sort of kind of thing. And but I was looking for the advert because I wanted to give it to my agent to put on my reel. And so the hate for this, like people are getting so. It's like an animation of a kid going to their parents, oh, why don't you like do this vegan stuff and stop eating meat kind of thing. But it's not like mega preachy. It's just a stupid cartoon.
Right.
And then I come on at the end and go, birds eye green cuisine. The hate. Like, people getting so angry about this, like, as a vegetarian, I'm appalled at how this. It's like, fucking hell, man. It's like a cartoon. So yeah, I was just like, you know, relaxing in my new kitchen that I paid for. I was just like, you argue, you brushed your crumbs out your keyboards.
Well,
I was just like, oh god,
it's ridiculous. I've done
it's
just
ludicrous.
a very small bit of voiceover stuff. I just did a game recently. It's ridiculous because we don't get very many of those. The amount of money it pays versus the amount of time you're putting into it seems absolutely fucking ridiculous. Till you realize that if you want to do that kind of work, all you're doing is pounding sand all day long to try and get those jobs. That's your job, is to find the jobs, and then occasionally you get to actually work.
That's the thing with voiceover. It's so sporadic, and I think it will just come in. Like, the last month has just been great, so I've just had like a couple of nice jobs, but then you won't get any for like a couple of months. This job I had the other day was like so you know, the London Underground, the tube trains. So it's just an advert, a radio ad for that, and I just had the part of Dad, like, and it was literally 3 words. Like, a kid just goes, "Look, Daddy, it's like Big Ben," and I just go, "Oh yeah." And then the other one was like, and the other one was the other word. It was 3 words. It was "oh yeah" and "wow." Like, he said, look at the statue, and I go, "Wow." And then about a week later, my agent goes, "They want to do a pickup for this job." I was like, "Why?" I gave him 40 oh yeahs. I gave him probably the best part of 100 wows, like, in all different. I said wows with laughs, like, like anything. Like, I was just like, there was no way it's not covered. And it was like, yeah, they I don't know. I don't know why they want to do pickups, but they do. It's just ludicrous. So it's just one bloke sitting there going, I need to get involved in this and put my
exactly.
swerve in.
A producer that
like,
really
why?
needs to feel like he's producing. That's exactly what that is right
there.
Ridiculous.
I had one of those years ago. I did a car advert years ago for Seat, and it's like I think it's a Spanish car or something, and it was going so well for like 18 months. It was just like, life was just, I didn't have to work. I just had to do that. Like, once every month I'd go in and just like do this advert, and it was great. And then one day this guy just rocked up, this hipster like dude, and he was just like, he just hated me, you know, as somebody you just know they just don't like you. And every they're like, I did the normal advert and I did the line, and the guy was like, I could see him in the back just going, waiting
for his opportunity.
And waiting. And I saw, and I knew from that day on, that's it, they're gonna get someone else. And he fucking did. Like, 18 months. And then they had this guy, because they had the terms and conditions guy, you know, those guys that do the terms and conditions apply, 18 plus, blah, blah, blah. But people that actually like are paid to do that little bit, because they had this guy, and I was like, what's this fucking guy doing in my session? And he was doing the little T's and C's at the end. It's like, what?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I haven't done enough. I'm learning from you guys, though. I'm learning from you guys. Sean Kristen's another guy that does a ton of that work. I'm not sure that I would really like it that much. I don't do well working for other people. I mean, I realize we do. I mean, we have our like 7 of your clients are in the audience right now making fun of you, which is great, by the way. But I mean, it's we work for them. But the fact is, after I do a book for someone, if I don't want to do another one, fuck you. I'm not going to do it. I mean, it's just that simple. I don't have to. There's a lot of other people that want to have me read a book. Same for you. You got a great voice. You got a name for yourself. We don't have to. Having that producer like that just feels like the micromanagement side of it to me that I just so detest.
It is too many cooks is the worst bit when you've got them, because you've got them all on Zoom now. So I mean, I do everything. I hardly ever leave the house like to work, and so I do a lot of stuff from home. But then you've got like 4 or 5 people on Zoom. You're like, who's this fucking, like, the client, the fucking producer, the and I'm just like, you just listen to them going, you just go, what are you talking about? Put what into, wow, what, why are you like, but you know, it's just like they can't see. I never have my camera on when I do those, so I'm just like, fucking, I'm like, yeah, I totally get what you mean. Fucking, but yeah, it's a weird business. I worked in sound for quite like that media kind of post-production world since I was about 20, so almost 30 years. And I've yeah, just the shit I've had to listen to. I'm just like,
Oh
this is
yeah.
how I got into voiceovers. I used to be an audio engineer, and I just kind of got made redundant one day, and I just went, I can fucking do this. I've been listening to these guys come in and do this, and I just like revoiced a load of adverts, panicked, and then got signed by this agent. It was like a complete fluke, and yeah, but yeah,
Well,
just
I like working in
mind-boggling.
Discord every day, and oftentimes the client, sometimes I have a couple of them that will come in and just be a part of every session, which is kind of cool in a way.
Yeah,
They I've not had one really. They hire us for our interpretation. That's all there fucking is to it.
yeah,
It's not that we
mm,
don't want to make the product together and be a team at this, but they hire us to our interpretation. There are people that are going to do, like, if somebody hired you instead of me for a book, it's going to be a completely different audiobook. You have Dan
yeah,
Calley
yeah. Of course,
style, and I have
yeah,
John
yeah,
Solo style. And
yeah,
that's why they
yeah,
hire us specifically.
yeah.
So
Absolutely, yeah,
when they
yeah.
hang out in Discord, it's fucking awesome. The most common reaction that I actually get are the sex scenes, and they're just like, I can't listen to this. Dive out. They're just like, I can't listen to this. I can't believe I wrote that shit, which is fantastic. People are in here.
Yeah.
Many people seem to be discovering you for the first time. It's the second person I've said.
Okay.
Just said that
Oh,
Dan's a new narrator to me. Let's see here. Somebody else said that they just listened. Did you do a book called Don't? Is that one of your books?
yeah, that was Jack's
Yeah.
actually. That's my first book that I did for Jack. Actually, a great series. I think it's about there's a new one due. There's about 7 of them. 7? Am I right?
Nice.
Yeah, all fantastic. Right, really, really good.
I love the series work.
And I will get round to, if Jack is there, I will. I am. I haven't forgotten about the book I've been working on for the last year. Now my kitchen's done. I can, and once the hot weather's gone, then I can get back to it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
congratulations on the kitchen and the trying to
it's
find a
terrific.
workaround for the hot weather. Good luck with that shit.
Yeah, and then I just like got everything back, and I was like, oh, it's hot. I can't do. Like, I was trying to get going on this new book today, and then the scaffolders are just set up over the road, and I'm just like, oh, you fucking. They're awful. They're like seals. They're just like, oh no! All you hear is just loads of shit
Oi!
all day. I'm just like, shut up! Like I can't get any momentum. I'm trying to
Yep.
yeah,
Just start working at night,
yeah,
my friend. Just start working at night.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like doing that myself, but I have just recently. Last week, we had to put in a couple night sessions to get shit done, and
yeah.
it is what it is. The worst is though when you back yourself in a
Yeah.
corner. I have deadlines sometimes that I just gotta. I backed myself into a corner last week and had to record like 6 finished hours in a day, which
Mm.
fucking that's just stress. Is what that is.
Is yeah. How did you do that? That's
It's not the first time. And you
yeah,
know, the funny thing is, once I get on a roll and I'm at about 3 to 4 finished hours, I'm like, I got this. It ain't not, my voice kind of
yeah,
slides into. I've been a performer for so many years; it just kind of slides into place, and it's not going to get
yeah.
any
I can have
better. But
days.
yeah,
I
it
can
just
get I
works.
get days like that when you have like 3 like when I do a 4 finished out, I'm just like
Mm.
whoa. But that's like yeah, that's an anomaly. Like normally I'm a 3 a day man. Like
Yeah,
usually,
I
and then
like
I'm done. I'm
two
just
to
like
2 to 3 a day, 2 to 3 days. That's like
yeah,
my comfort zone, you know.
yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah,
crank some
yeah.
out
That's good.
again. If that's mine, that'll be inappropriate. Yeah, I know I've missed some comments here. I'm sorry. I always have a hard like I get locked in on talking to my like Dan here. I haven't talked to him in 2 years, so I get locked in on talking and I miss comments. So a couple things here. One, Dan, afterwards, if you could jump into the comments section in our Facebook group and respond to any I missed, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Two, this is obviously going to be popped up on YouTube. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll send you the link to that. And yeah, I think that's it, dude. Any other passing words of wisdom? Mine is always don't pick up shit. It's always going to be there when you need it. What's yours?
Um, stop doing drugs. I went to Amsterdam recently, and I used to do a lot of drugs when I was younger. Like I haven't since I was about 25. But fucking hell! All right, so have I got time to tell you this?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. We got all the time in the world. And I've been to Amsterdam too. You tell me a good one here. You go.
So well, the guys that I went with, I mean, I would describe them as professional drug takers. They are men who are like, I've known them for years. They are not fucking about. So they're like, there's this guy called Rob, who's this Irish guy, and he immediately was just like, he got there and just wanted to do just wanted to score drugs, and he found this guy called the Pigeon, this Amsterdam dealer who would just drop off drugs wherever and he had a website, he had a business card, he had everything. It's amazing. So there's 3 of them who are just like these guys who I mean, I haven't done mushrooms since I was fucking like 25,
right?
And this guy is like my age, he's pushing 50, and he just does these mushrooms. And I don't know this guy, I've never met this guy. It was a stag do, so it was kind of like people, a lot of us knew each other, but there were a few who were kind of like, oh yeah, I remember you. You do a lot of drugs, don't you? And this guy, he did these mushrooms, and he was just not having a good time. I mean, when I used to do drugs, I'd be like, this is great. This is fun. It just did not look like fun. And so I could see him kind of looking around going, oh no, this is awful. And he came up to me, he just said, I'll level with you. I really need to sort my head out. I was like, I know you do. I can't help you though. I had 2 tokes of a spliff, and I swear I used to smoke weed every day, for years.
Yeah.
2 tokes of a slip. I was walking in the wrong toilets. I was just like, fuck it. This was not fun. I was just, this is horrific. This is just horrible. I'd had 2 tokes. And I said, look, I'm the wrong person for you to be talking to now. I've had fucking 0, and I am fucked. And then, so anyway, so he's eventually he kind of gets a little bit more energy, and he's up there dancing and doing bits and bobs in this pub. And yeah, anyway, so we were just like, fucking hell. I think his name was Dave or something. And then so the next day we're like, oh fucking, what happened to Dave? I'd love to know, we were just hearing all these stories of the night before. And oh, Dave had to go home, back to England, because Dave's wife phoned him up while he was high on mushrooms, said that their son had COVID, and he had to book a flight home on mushrooms and go to the airport and navigate his way home.
Dude, you've been through the Amsterdam airport. There's no way I could. Yeah. I got lost stone cold sober there.
Yeah. I got our flights got cancelled, so I had to get a Eurostar home and change and fucking and it was just and we'd done muffins the night before, which were, I have to say, a lot of fun. And so we had this we all went to this pub, and they all started doing them, and I was like, I'm not gonna fucking no. I had 2 tokes of a split. They're like, trust me, this is fun, this is not unpleasant. So then I did half one, and it was proper giggles, old school sort of high sort of stuff. And then a friend of ours, there was this, for the bar we were at, there's this Alsatian was in just sausaged out near the bar, sleeping, and he trod on this dog, and the dog went mental. And obviously he had 2 spliffs by himself, so the state he was in anyway, and we were just like, what is wrong with you? And so he all sat down, and he was getting all twitchy and sort of looking around, and I was like, what are you looking at? Why do you keep looking over there? He's going, well, I tripped over that dog, and I really don't want to walk past it again, so I'm just wondering whether I can get to the toilet. I really need a piss. And and we were like, yeah, you can get to the toilet. And it's just a wall. And we were like, when you're stoned and you believe anything. And we were just like, yeah, you can definitely get through there. There's a door there. And it was just literally a wall and a table with chairs on it. And he was looking around going, is this that? It's definitely here, yeah? And we're like, yeah, there's a door there. We're all just fucking horrible, terrible.
You pulled the Wile E. Coyote on him, is what you did. You
Yeah,
painted
exactly.
the door on the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
He
so
was. Yeah, it's funny.
I have one good Amsterdam story, right? So I went over. I'm not a
Yeah,
world
shoot.
traveler. I've traveled overseas twice in my life. So this was for a convention, EPC. It's an romance convention. It was my first convention, and I was very nervous, and for multiple reasons. One of which was I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. I'm a big old drunk and drug user. I love all of them to death. They're
Yeah.
my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
But somebody like me, I just can't do it anymore. To each their
Yeah.
own. I wish everyone, please do the drugs. Please. They're
Yeah.
great. They're fantastic. Just not for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been sober a couple of years, and I had this all lined up. I knew where I do 12-step meetings. I knew where some meetings were in Amsterdam. I had my fucking sponsor's number. I wasn't real nervous. I was in pretty good space. I wasn't worried about using and drinking, but I'm going to do all the things I'm supposed to do. So I get there, and the first thing my sponsor tells me is, he sounds like this: don't go to the red light district and don't go to the coffee shops. Which means, because this fucker has been to Amsterdam, he did both those things. So I was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to go to both. So the first one I did was the red light district, and I decided I was going to go late at night, because that's when you're supposed to go to the red light district, right? So I was like, 11 o'clock or midnight. I get the train down there from our hotel, and I wander around by myself, Amsterdam red light district. And that's probably not the safest thing to do, but that's what I did. And the only weird thing that happened was, first off, red light district, they have like fucking prostitutes hanging out of windows and shit, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to tempt you with their wares. And I pulled up my phone for a second to take a picture, and like the fucking door guard started coming at me.
Yeah.
I put it right away again. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And the second thing is, apparently, like all the Ubers and everything else, the taxis stopped running at a certain time, and I went past that time, which wasn't good. So I had to figure out my way home. But then the next night, a very popular narrator and a very popular author decided that they wanted to go to a coffee shop and asked me if I wanted to attend, and I said yes, because I wanted to see one of these little coffee shops. And so they go, and they're going downstairs to purchase their coffee, and I'm in a little small den. We'll call it a drug den, is what we'll call it. And there's
terrifying places.
Oh my goodness gracious,
places,
yeah. But there's only two other people in this room now other than me, the author and the narrator downstairs. They're buying their coffee, and I'm sitting there, and it turns out these two other people are American, because they turn to me and say, hey, do you know how to roll a joint? And I start cracking up laughing. Like, yeah, do I know how to roll a joint? But I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, my sponsor would probably tell me to say no in this instance. So I tried that. And it turns out the kids were just fucking it all up. So finally I said, look, kid, here, give it to me. And I rolled him a perfect joint and handed it to him. Then explained I've been sober so many years. And I walked out of the coffee shop later that afternoon with my friends, and I called my sponsor immediately and told him I'd done my service work for the day. I had helped a person roll a joint, God damn it. So that was my coffee shop experience in Amsterdam, which was fantastic. But I'm sad.
Terrifying places.
I'm sad that you should do the drugs, Dan. It seems to me like you would enjoy them a great deal.
No, I did. You know what? I went. I went there with the full intention of just go. You know, I'll just have a spliff or whatever for the first time in years,
Right.
and that's it. And then I did, and I was like, this is just not fun anymore. It used to be fun. It used to be nice, but it's just like, oh, why? This is just paranoid and horror. Oh, it's just like, oh, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't smoke anymore, so it's kind of like, even though that was the reason, I just like, I just have a little.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it was just not fun, and I, you know, so that kind of scratched my little itch, and I just went, nah, I'm done. Like, and as for the mushrooms, they had this chart, and it had these, like, you can get the strength, and it had like 1 to 5 star ratings. And there's this one at the end had visuals, all of them, like brain. Oh, was it brain effect? That was it. Maximum 6 stars. Brain effects. I'll send you the. I've got a picture of it. It was so funny, man. I was just like looking at all these things, and I was just like, what kind of maniac buys? They're called High Hawaiians.
What cracked me up was, dude, you said your drug dealer had a website that about that.
Oh, that guy, yeah, the pigeon. I mean, God knows. He had like everything on there, like just this, that, and the other. And you're just like, how are you getting away with that? Like, there is
When I
no
was,
way.
dude, when I was a frontman in a rock band, we used to play this popular club downtown Columbus. It's called the Newport, and Newport's like it's a big fucking club. All the big bands that come, fucking AC/DC used to play there and shit. It's a big deal, right? So we kind of had an in. Our drummer got a job there and worked his way up to stage manager. It was fucking awesome. So we'd go there and hang out. We got to know this guy. He was called the $1 billion roadie, is what we called him. And you could place a call. $1 billion roadie would show up with his fucking backpack in your dressing room and just whip it out, and it was like everything. Here you go. Hey, whatever. What do you want? I got it all. So,
Oh, it's cool dealers. I love them.
dude, we were playing there one night, and we're headlining. It's a big fucking deal. There's a couple thousand people in the crowd, and our at this point, our wives and our girlfriends are with us, and they're in the dressing room, and fucking $1 billion roadie opens up the door, and my buddy, the stage manager of the club, who's a drummer that night, just goes, "No, fuck no, get out." Because he knew we were going to be busted hardcore.
Yeah.
Anyways,
man. I love it.
yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on, dude. I really, really, really appreciate this.
No, it's always good fun, man. Yeah. Let's not leave it too long till next time.
Yep, enjoy, have fun. Here's the easy part. All you got to do is wave bye to the crowd, just like this. There you go.
See you later.